everyone, and welcome to today's General Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. You might notice today looks a little bit different, maybe not, because I'm using the same exact software and kind of the same angle as I usually do, but that is because I cracked my iPad yesterday, so I had to take notes on a laptop, and I'm recording on my phone, so this should be a lot of fun. So yeah, just I'm getting a tempered glass case for it, so by next week we should be fine and have our normal kind of iPad-y reactions, but for right now we're gonna do it like this. So let's get right to it. So at the Haunted Star, Maxie comes over to talk to Dylan, and there's kind of a heated argument, right, Misha? Oh, Misha looks so scary. She looks so scary. Okay, so there's kind of a heated argument between the two of them, because she won't get off her phone, and then the conversation turns to Georgie. You know, before they got into all the personal stuff, a part of me was kind of thinking it was like for a scene, but it's not. And he wants to know what she knows about costume design. She kind of schools him in fashion and says the effortless, beautiful, the effortlessly beautiful he wants isn't really quite as effortless as it looks, and I think a lot of guys don't realize that. And, you know, his whole idea of a white t-shirt and faded jeans is actually going to be a lot more expensive to pull off than just getting something off the rack. But she says she is able to get him in contact with someone who does do costume design for indie films, and that she worked with back at Crimson, like, for the Cortulo shoots or something like that. So hopefully that should work out. At the DA's office, Julian overhears Rick talking about how he's going to prosecute Ava and Julian. And Julian knocks and he wants to talk, and he accuses Rick of doing Sunny's dirty work. And then they converse, and Rick finally leaves after getting a text message from Madeline saying, "Get the papers from Nathan." And Julian kind of rigs the door so that he's able to go back into the office even after Julian leaves. At Sunny's place, Sunny tells Carly that he visited Ava. He tells her about the conversation, about how he told Ava Carly's going to be Avery's mother, da-da-da-da-da. And Carly's concerned Morgan convinced himself that he's in love with Ava and she'll get her claws into him. And Sunny keeps dismissing Carly's concerns about Morgan, whether it's because of Ava or about the being bipolar. But she really wants to focus on Morgan, and she wants to get him diagnosed. But even when it comes to Ava, her whole thing is, even if Ava doesn't love him, or if there's no future, if Morgan is convinced that Ava does love him, then that's all that really matters. Now, here's where the real fun begins. At the police station. So Kiki visits Franco, and Kiki fully believes that Nina killed her father, but Franco sticks up for Nina. And he also deflects blame onto Ava, and then Kiki is adamant that Ava isn't the killer. So Kiki's trying to ascertain how long he's known about Ava. I know, ascertain. I read books. This is leaning on the book I'm currently reading, The Dead Zone by Stephen King. But anyway, that's beside the point. So she's trying to figure out how long he's known about Ava, and he tells her since the 4th of July, and he also tells her why Ava told him, and that's because she wanted him to get the recording, the evidence against her and Connie Falconeri's murder. So he tells her about the fight with Silas and how he was going to confess to the kidnapping, and she asks why he stopped. And he says that Silas took off because Scott wasn't there, so there was nothing to be done. And then so Kiki thinks the message that she got from Silas was about outing Ava before he confessed, so that she would hear it from him first. And Franco says she's partly right, but there's more to it. And is he going to tell her? She wants him to tell her, and he says, well, what if it doesn't make things better? What if it makes things worse? And she goes, that's not your decision to make for me. Like, you need to tell me. So he tells her it is about Morgan, but he doesn't get into details. So hopefully he does that tomorrow. Hopefully, you can't really see my fingers crossed over here. And also at the police station, Morgan visits Ava, and practically all of Carly's nightmares start to happen. So Morgan feels like Ava played him, like she played everyone else, and believes the true person she is the person who killed Connie Falconeri. And she dredges up when Morgan told Sunny about where Ava was hiding all the way back in the day. So everything... Oh, I just said that. so Ava's convincing Morgan that they're still in love, and he tells her they're not going to have a future because of the recording, like she's going to go to jail, and he has all he needs with Kiki, and she talks down about their relationship, he and Kiki's. He also wants her to keep quiet about their affair. So she really wants him back, and he says no because of what it'll do to Kiki. And in a shocking turn of events, Morgan actually has Kiki's best interests at heart. I mean, relatively, you know, because of who he's talking to. I look like really okay and then really scary on the side of my face. But, you know, he keeps saying we can't do this because of what it'll do to Kiki, and Ava's pretty much like, I don't care. I don't care. And not in like, but basically, you know, she's Ava. So my last thing about Ava is this woman is insufferable. She won't leave it alone, which I think sums it up pretty well. And also at the police station, frankly, the most exciting part, which is why I saved it till the end. You like my half of red hair? So Nathan apparently goes over his theory with Dante, and they're going to tell Jordan. So we still don't know what it is, but now they know what it is. They say the killer isn't Franco, Ava, or Nina, and Jordan authorizes them to go digging because the fallout could be horrendous if they're wrong. Who is it? So at this point, I'm like, well, it's not Morgan because who cares? So who could it possibly be? So then this is now Rick is coming out of his office after talking to Julian. Rick asks Nathan if Nina had any papers on her when she was taken into custody, and he says yes. And then Rick asks for the papers, and he says no. And then Dante handcuffs him and arrests him for the murder of Silas Clay. And I wasn't even considering that angle. I know some people said Madeline, but I wasn't even thinking Rick. Like, oh my goodness. So, in my opinion, Doth protests too much because he starts bringing up other suspects and about this whole thing just being so absurd. And I'm like, that's not exactly how someone would act if they're being arrested for murder. Like, there's a lot more I would say before being logical about it. It's like, well, you have these three, and this is how they could have done it. This is how they could have done it. This is how they could have done it. So, I don't know. I think they might be right. I know I've been a big fan of Morgan did it, but, like, I've always been like, I know that's a little too obvious, and I'm open that it's probably going to be someone else. But so they have him in the interrogation room. He says he wants a lawyer, and they go, that's fine, but we're going to go through everything we have on you, and then you can decide what you want to do. And also Jordan walks into Rick's office, and Julian is there, of all people. He kind of like makes it look like he's just waiting around because he was rifling through stuff and he wasn't able to find the recording because it's probably in evidence by now, you know. So she questions why he's there, and he says he's there to talk to Rick about recusing himself from the case because of the conflict of interest with Sonny. And he tries to stay in the office because he's like, well, it's a public building, so you don't have authority to throw me out of here. And she goes, yeah, but I'm closing down the area to collect evidence, so unless you want to be part of that investigation, you should probably leave. So I guess he decides to leave because he leaves. If you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up. It would mean so much. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I cracked my iPad. Do you want to hear a little bit about the iPad? So, yesterday I was kind of like getting situated, and the dish I had, like the corner of it, hit the iPad, but like on the edge, like it could have been a lot worse. And like I look, and there's like a huge like. The glass is just cracked, and there's one crack down like the center of the iPad, and it's not really super bad. So we went to the Apple store, I asked them what I can do, and she's like, well, if you get a case on it, like it'll stop it from getting worse. So my tempered glass case should be here next week, and then we can be back on the iPad. But if you like the phone, like this is kind of like a little bit easier, and I feel like it might be better quality because this shoots in a lot better quality than the iPad. So if you like this video better than like how I do it on the iPad, let me know in the comments or give me a thumbs up, and I'll just keep continuing doing them on my phone because that would be no problem at all. In any event, thank you so much for watching today's video. We have a YouCaring campaign to save the animal sanctuary down in the description, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about that, you can also comment on this video. But I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!